Before you're going to order that pint of beer or just going to have one peg, listen to this. I'm Dr. Yoganand Reddy. I'm a gastroenterologist. In this video, I will answer the most common question which a lot of people have. Which alcohol is safe for the liver? Is it beer, wine, whiskey, rum? You may not like the answer, but it can change the way you think about alcohol forever. Stay with me until the end. I will reveal the exact truth at the end of this video. A lot of people think beer is safe because it doesn't have too much of alcohol. It doesn't have too high percentage. Wine is healthy because people have heard stories that some people lived for many years because they enjoyed a glass of wine. Whiskey is too strong, so avoid it. Problem is your liver doesn't understand, it cannot differentiate between wine, beer, whiskey. It doesn't recognize any brand names or any flavors. It only sees one molecule, which is the ethanol, the alcohol. Whether it is beer, whiskey, vodka, rum, whatever you're drinking, it all delivers alcohol and the liver has to work hard to process it no matter what you drink. Why do some people get damage to their liver by drinking alcohol? When you drink alcohol, obviously it goes into the stomach. It gets absorbed and then reaches the liver. In the liver, it has to get converted into acetaldehyde, which is the toxic compound. This acetaldehyde is the one which causes irritation, inflammation, the cell damage, what we call as this oxidative stress. Buildup of fat occurs in the liver. More fat that keeps on building, there is more scarring in the liver. So the more you drink, the more frequently you drink, the more alcohol you drink, the more inflammation, irritation, and scarring that starts to get created. But some people, unfortunately, even smaller amounts can cause the exact same damage what I have just mentioned, because some people are sensitive than others, but nobody is immune from alcohol-related liver damage. So this big question about what alcohol is safe, does it really matter? Let us clear this once for all. Firstly, let's look at beer. Beer means everyone knows it's a larger volume. So there is more volume, hence the percentage of alcohol gets a bit diluted. So there is less alcohol percentage. If you look at wine, it's medium volume, medium percentage of alcohol, 12 to something up to 15%. Whiskey, rum, vodka, smaller volumes but high concentrations of alcohol. But once you gulp these drinks, whichever one it is, the liver only sees one thing, which is the alcohol, not the type, not the brand, not the quality of alcohol. Problem, what happens is, people think, beer drinkers, that there is not much alcohol and start drinking more. Drinking large volumes, 8, 9, 10 pints, sometimes even more than that. As you keep drinking more and more pints, it adds naturally to more and more amount of total alcohol. Wine drinkers, on the other hand, think it is healthy to have a glass of red wine or whatever. Let me enjoy a glass of wine, and they start drinking regularly. This again becomes slowly a pattern. They start to slowly depend on the wine without even knowing it. The others, who we call as hot drinkers, the whiskey drinkers, spirits, they sometimes underestimate the strength and end up drinking several pegs of alcohol, or some of them keep switching between beer, wine, whiskey, depending on the occasion. The damaging effect of all of this, it will be exactly the same. It of course depends on the quantity, the amount what you drink, and also what you drink. This moderate drinking is a slightly dangerous terminology because a lot of people have kind of normalized it, saying that it is okay to have alcohol socially. 1 or 2 drinks is fine. A lot of this is based on old studies without much modern scientific evidence. Even a few drinks in some people in a week can increase the chances of significantly putting fat into the liver, which is the fatty liver. This is alcohol-related fatty liver I'm talking about. More fatty changes in the liver, more scarring occurs, so fibrosis. Sometimes people come in badly with severe pancreatitis, where the pancreas is all swollen because of the alcohol, the toxic effect of the alcohol on pancreas. If you continue to drink whilst you have fatty liver, the fibrosis, it will lead to cirrhosis, and there is also cancer risk for people who regularly drink alcohol. Even if it is only wine, even if it is beer, if you're drinking regularly, this will be silently damaging the liver. The unfortunate part is, liver is not an organ that will give you warning until it is a bit late, until it's a bit damaged badly. The next question is, why some people get liver disease early than others? If you look at genetics, Indians compared to the Westerners, the whites, many of our people, they convert alcohol into this acetaldehyde, what I mentioned, much faster. So they clear it much slowly, which means we as Indians are at more risk of developing liver damage, even at lower amounts of alcohol compared to the Western population. This is why in our country we see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s with alcohol-related fatty liver disease, alcohol-related cirrhosis. We are seeing as early as people in their as early as 25, 30 going into liver failure. And by the time they are into mid-30s and near about 40s, they have serious liver damage already. So alcohol hits Indians much harder compared to the Western people, and that's a fact. The last part, which a lot of people don't like it, but the harsh truth, which alcohol is the safest? Beer, wine, whiskey, vodka, rum. None of this. No alcohol is safe. There is no safe limit for alcohol. Remember, every drop of alcohol that you drink has to filter through the liver, and it starts to cause stress to the liver. Some people's body repairs it faster, some people repair it slow, but the damage is the same. The more you do it, the more risk of you developing liver disease. Most important part is how to control this, how to look after your liver. Firstly, what matters is the pattern of drinking. Your risk of liver damage increases significantly even if you're drinking in smaller amount, but you start drinking regularly. Or if you say, I'm not going to drink on the weekdays, I'm going to go heavy on the weekend, Friday, Saturday night by binge drinking, this also hits the liver hard. Drinking on empty stomach, not having much food, alcohol hits the bloodstream much quicker. So this can also cause liver damage much faster. If you're taking various medicines, painkillers, and mixing alcohol with it, this also causes liver damage much sooner. If you're drinking regularly and eating all kinds of fried foods, unhealthy, fatty, greasy type of foods, you're at risk of developing both alcohol-related liver damage as well as fatty liver damage from excess accumulation of fat from unhealthy eating habits. If you already have an underlying fatty liver disease or underlying liver disease because of either chronic hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or some other liver issue, then if you were to combine with alcohol, it will make things worse. The deadly combination, what I see as a gastroenterologist nowadays, is increasingly people are getting more chubby. They are putting on more weight. So they already have fatty liver disease without knowing it. On top of it, they are drinking alcohol regularly. So they get accelerated liver damage. The damage to the liver is 3 to 4 times much faster in people who drink alcohol who already have fatty liver compared to those who do not have fatty liver. My message here is, if you really want to protect your liver, if you have never touched alcohol, don't try it. If you do drink, keep it to very occasional. Reduce drinking as much as possible. Prefer to have 1 or 2 drinks on special occasions. Remember, the safest alcohol for your liver is no alcohol, because your liver doesn't have a backup. It is a single organ. Once it is badly damaged, it doesn't get a second chance. So please drink responsibly if you do drink, as I mentioned, very occasionally. Subscribe to this channel for digestive health topics from the specialists. Thank you.